Two teams with contrasting seasons coming off contrasting thrillers last week. Has West Coast barnstorming finish over Sydney injected enough self-belief to inspire them to their first win away from home? Or has the heartbreak of rising from the dead, only to subside in the wake of a Peter Riccardi floater, encouraged the Blues to strive for a long-forgotten victory? It's the halfway mark of the season and both teams are looking to reverse their seasonal trends. Will Optus Oval provide the platform for a sense of new hope? It's Carlton versus West Coast on AFL Saturday.
And welcome to Optus Oval. Yes, can Carlton reverse the trend and get a well-needed victory here at Optus Oval? Welcome. It is a beautiful day here in Melbourne. Winter's day, but the sun is shining, and congratulations to Michael Mansfield. 50 games for Carlton after coming across from Geelong, and they certainly will be looking to take on the West Coast Eagles, who are searching for their first away win from Subiaco, as the banner suggests. And if they are going to take part in this year's finals, this is a game that they probably would have set themselves for. They don't have a good record here at Optus Oval, in particular in the last 5 or 6 years. Welcome, Tony Shaw. And Shawry, that last-minute loss by Carlton last week to Geelong, how will that affect them? Will that inspire them this week? Will they make a positive out of that close loss?
Oh, I think they will. I think it'll be a confidence booster for them to stay in the game when it looked like it was blown apart. Look, it's all about pride for Carlton, but the West Coast also, Matty, they have to win today to keep in touch with the top four, which is pretty important for them.
They must win some away games if they are going to make the finals, as I mentioned. They would have set themselves for this game. As we see where they sit now, comfortably 6, but all those wins at home.
Well, also, we're just thinking, I think they've got another 6 games at home. If they could make the 8 without winning a game in Melbourne and then have to travel to Melbourne for a final, so yes, they want to change that hoodoo around very quickly, I would think. Every
picture tells a story for Carlton. Just the one win this season, going back to round 3, they've now lost 8 in a row, which is a horrendous run for them. Today's the day.
Yeah, look, I think that they're a chance here today. One thing about them last week, I didn't think they deserved to win the game, but as I said, they fought the game out, and I think Wayne Britton would take some credence from that anyway.
We take a look at the Optus Oval home factor, that how Carlton have been travelling at Optus over the past couple of years. Certainly in the past it was almost impossible to win here, but not so much lately.
Well, before 1999, I think they won close to 20 straight, which no one wanted to travel to Optus Oval, but you can see it's Wayne there. 2001 they lost 3 games here, and they haven't won here this year. So again, both sides have had trouble travelling and also at the venue.
Yes, they've had 2 games this year against Sydney and Adelaide, and both have been fairly heavy losses. West Coast at Optus, 6 out of 21 in total, but since 1996 they've come here 4 times, haven't gone away with the points. And Carlton have also won their last 4 games against the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, look, it's not a great record, that isn't. I think they need to change it around. You can see Glenn Jakovic there. He's been back the last couple of weeks, and a player who really has to stand up. I think he'd probably go to Lance Whitnell, the player who, if he does kick multiple goals, could win the game for Carlton.
What about John Worsfold, spending his time as an assistant coach here at Carlton and now back at the West Coast Eagles? How will that help him in his preparation of this team?
Well, that is a great bonus, because Wayne Britton, he'd know how Wayne Britton goes about it in the coach's box. He'd know everybody in the personnel at Carlton, except for maybe a couple of younger players. But gee, that is a bonus when you're trying to figure out what they're going to do in a game under pressure.
Has been a change to the Eagles side. Callum Chambers did not make the trip across the Nullarbor. Andrew Williams comes into the side as we see John Worsfold. He's been close to winning here in Melbourne, just a point against Collingwood earlier in the season, so there's a monkey he wants to get off his back in his early coaching career.
Well, I think to be seen as respected finals chances, you have to win when you go away, and especially in Melbourne where you do play a lot of finals. So yeah, John would love to get across the line there. We can see Ben Cousins, been a great player and a fantastic leader for the team.
Has set his standard and has continued throughout the season. Well, the action is not too far away from Optus Oval. Ian Robertson and Francis Leach will join us after the break. As we go to the break, we take a look at the last time these 2 sides met. It was all one-sided.
The West Coast Eagles found themselves in unfamiliar territory, sitting near the bottom of the ladder in 15th position, while the Blues set out to build on their 3-game hot streak. And the home team came out firing, slamming on 13 goals to the Eagles' 1 in the first half. It was hard to find a Blues player who didn't play well. Camporelli and Beaumont the standouts. The final siren couldn't come soon enough for the Eagles. After posting just 3 goals for the day, they went down by a massive 119 points. And the Blues really should have won by more. Their inaccuracy in front of goals yielding 23 behind.
We're back up. Everybody checking on headsets. This is Matthew Campbell as I'm watching Brendan Favola, the answer, pop the ball through.
So Robbo helping out with the commentary, Colin Kinnear, Ross Lyon, Wayne Britton, Stephen Kernahan on screen. Haven't they got some pressure on them, the Blues coaching staff?
Yes, and Tony, sure, I can't believe that Brendan Favola and Trent Houghton would start the game on the bench, and also Jordan Durling, who's one of the best players on the ground last week.
G'day guys, how are you?
Francis, going well yourself?
Not too bad. It's beautiful down here today. I didn't need the gumboots at all.
Beautiful day. And Francis, the hammer leech. Optus Oval. First half of the split round, round 12. Carlton taking on the West Coast Eagles. Beautiful winter's day, as I mentioned. And joining the commentary is Ian Robertson. Good afternoon, Robbo.
Yes, Matthew, great to be here. Unfortunately, I was here a couple of weeks ago and I saw Adelaide play pretty well against the Blues, and you've already mentioned about their poor form. 2 matches against the Swans and the Crows, and both shocking defeats. So I think just from a pride point of view, as far as the Carlton Football Club is concerned, there's a bit of pressure on these boys today.
Well, let's take a look at the two teams' lineups respectively. And gentlemen, starting with the West Coast backline.
Well, you think McIntosh would go to McKernan if he doesn't start up in the ruck. He'd probably go to the ruck and push forward, I think, McKernan today.
The big problem with the Blues throughout this year, and probably since Stephen Kernahan's exit, has been their ability to kick a winning score. I like the idea of Hickmott playing on the forward line alongside Whitnell, just to add a little bit of, a degree of just competitiveness will help there.
Well, we'd love to see that matchup on the wing, wouldn't we? Peter Matera and Craig Bradley, I don't know, 600-odd games between them, so 611 games between them. I don't know whether that will occur, but also Cousins and Ratton going head-to-head.
And the half-forward line for the Eagles, one of the most exciting players in the competition, David Wirapunda. And, of course, the Blues, well, Andrew McKay speaks for itself, his career with Carlton. Houghton, we believe, may start on the bench. Beaumont must play a blinder today if the Blues are to win, I think.
Well, a fairly young defence for Carlton, isn't it? Franchina, Livingston and Wiggins, they'll have their hands full with Miranda, Gasper and Haynes, and also West Coast Eagles, a couple of very young forwards there.
We see Andrew Merrington picked as the leading ruckman. You wonder whether Corey McKernan may start there, but the big fella for the West Coast has given them a fair share of the first use of the ball at the centre bounces.
As we take a look at the toss, Ben Cousins and Brett Ratton. Find out who is going to win the first battle of the day. Brett Ratton will kick to the left of screen, and joining us down on the boundary is Francis the Hammer Leach.
Yes, Matthew, it's a fantastic day down here. It's an absolute peach of an afternoon at Optus Oval, and it's a big game for Carlton, as we know, also because Brett Ratton tonight is having his testimonial dinner at the Carlton Football Club, so they'll be wanting to do it for him. The bench, it seems that for the West Coast Eagles, Judd, Kerr, Matera and Lynch to start on the bench. For Carlton, looks like we have Doring, young Campbell, also for Vola and Houghton, who will be sitting down at the start of the game.
Interesting, the Eagles bench, as we take a look at the Carlton bench there. The Eagles starting with Kerr, Philip Matera and Judd. There's some talent there, sure.
Oh, enormous talent, and you would think the way that they've been playing away from home, you'd start your stars on the ground at the start. But no doubt Johnny Worsfold must have a plan in place, maybe to get the speed off the game and let those three loose. But I can't believe that, matter of fact. I think Phil Matera would be a player who really worries the Carlton defence.
Certainly Kerr's been in excellent form for the Eagles, so that is a surprise. Judd has started on the bench over the last couple of weeks.